Wonderful. This will be a continuation. This afternoon we'll be in here for an hour. And for what I'm going to share with you, most of these slides are the principles and slides that we use in our new advisor launch and development. So you're going to see the very same training, the foundation that we lay for all the advisors we're bringing to our organization. I want to start off with this story that I think captures a really good component of why oftentimes we don't reach some of the goals and objectives we set out for ourselves. And it's a story of a gentleman who owns a fish market on the waterfront. And that fish market has a very simple sign over it. And that's the sign, Lamp Asia, that's right. Very simple sign, fresh fish for sale. Well, one day, some of the patrons approached the owner of the fish market, who's an elderly gentleman, and they asked him, does he really need the word fresh on his sign? They know he wakes up early each morning, he sets out on his boat, goes out, gets a fresh catch, and brings it in. So the owner thinks about it, and he decides they're probably right. So he removes the word fresh from his sign. So now his sign has up there just fish for sale. So more time passes, and once again, some patrons of the fish market approach the owner and mention to him, do you really need the word for sale on your sign? We know you're for profit, we know you sell seafood and fish here, is that necessary? And he thinks about it and he says, you're probably right. So he removes that. So now the sign above his fish market says one word left, fish. Well, you see where this is going. Once again, the patrons approach the owner and suggest to him, do you really need the word fish on your sign? We walk down the pier every day, we smell the aroma, we know you sell fish here. Is it really necessary? He thinks about it, and keep in mind, he's getting older. It's more laborious for him every year to climb up the ladder and paint and touch things up. He can save some money, so he says, they have a point. I'll take the word fish off his sign. Guess what happened to that fish market within the next year? Guess what happened? It died. It closed. It went out of business. Why do I share that story? I share that story because it identifies something that I see happening all the time as it pertains to our businesses, as it pertains to growing advisors, as it pertains to many things, our relationships, our health, so many things. And what occurred there is something I like to call the slow erosion of the fundamentals. See, little by little, those words were taken off. Imagine if someone went up to that owner of that fish market and said, I have an idea. Take down your sign. What would that owner have said? You're crazy. Why would I do that? But yet, isn't that exactly what that owner did over time, little by little? And that's what I see so oftentimes in advisors' practices, in training and growing advisors. As I mentioned, relationships. It's not as if these things end overnight. See, what we do is we lose focus on the fundamentals. And we learned from the Kinder brothers a long time, what we have to do is we have to be brilliant on the basics. We need to be guardians of these fundamentals. And I'm going to go through some of the fundamentals that we adhere to at our firm. And we do everything I think everybody else does, but because we're so focused on those basics, those fundamentals, and they never erode, our advisors keep going on and doing well. Make sense? So this morning I talked about the booklet, Do Well by Doing Good. And if you recall, I touched on one of the questions. I'm going to take a few minutes and touch on a couple of the other ones in our session now. And that is, the key questions that are addressed in this book is the first one, why do you want to become a financial advisor? Whenever you're interviewing someone, please ask that question. Why do you want to become an agent, an advisor? What's important to you about it? Typically, you're going to hear one of the three I's, impact, independence, income. but find out what's important to them. Now remember, it's their why, whatever their why is. But it's important to know somebody's why. Because if you know why they're getting in business, you can help them, develop them to get there. This next question is critical. Are you ready to be a business owner? I always ask that of candidates. And the reason because even though you are in a sales profession, even though that's how you get compensated, by selling, the reality is you are running a business, correct? First and foremost, you are a business owner. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you're a business for yourself, but never, never by yourself. You have the support and resources of the firm, of the manager, of the leader, the mentor to give to you. And please, this is the language that I use, that we use. I hope you can incorporate some of the language. But are you ready to be a business owner? And then I asked them, and they, what do you think they do? They say, yes, I'm ready to be a business owner. Okay, good. So my first question then is, how many hours per week do you believe a business owner, when starting up a new business, puts into that business per week? How many hours per week are they working? And I'd like to see what they say. And hopefully that number is a lot. 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And if it is, okay, then I say that's good, because that's your business owner. If they say less than that, then I would say perhaps your timing isn't the best. Because I don't know too many people who make it in this business who aren't putting in a lot of hours. The next question I ask is pertains to income. If you're a brand new business, just getting started, and you're owning that business, it could be a restaurant, a dry cleaner, it doesn't matter, a financial advising practice, does not matter what the business is. What type of income is that business owner typically pulling out of business to sustain their lifestyle the first few years? A lot or a little? Usually a very little, because they had to go out and maybe get money from the bank, they had to secure funds to start that business. They're not pulling a lot of money out. So my question is, are you prepared the first couple of years to be compensated like a true business owner? And a true business owner sometimes doesn't have a big income stream. Just to manage expectations. Because oftentimes, here's the big thing. People oftentimes really want is they want a job. And I tell people, this is not a good job. It's a lousy job. It's a beautiful career. It's kind of like the equivalent of becoming a doctor, and I use that. Is going to medical school, is that a fun job? No, going to medical school is not fun. Going to medical school is hard. Oh, by the way, how much do you get paid when you go to medical school? If you want to be a doctor, which is a very noble calling, right? So is what we do, very noble calling. But if you want to become a doctor, how much do you get paid when you go to medical school? Zero. Not only do you not get paid, you have to take out loans to pay tuition to go to medical school. And how many hours are you investing in studying in medical school? A lot. So I compare it to medical school. So medical school isn't the job. Medical school is the preparation for the career. The first few years in this business is preparation for the career. So if you want a job, do not apply here because you will be miserable. If you want a career and are willing to invest like a physician does in medical school, because in 3 years, 4 years from now, you will have about the same income, if not even greater than a physician. You'll have just as much impact, and you'll have a lot more independence. Make sense? So that's how that's positioned. And we already touched on the other one this morning. I want to talk about this. This is something I learned years ago from Dr. John Marshall with the self-management group. I enhanced it a little bit. But I use this to walk somebody through the different options they have for career paths. So I start down here, and I talk about being an employee, being a job, working for somebody, working for a company. What's the investment of becoming an employee? Not much. Maybe a brand new suit, maybe a nice briefcase, but it's not a big investment. What is the risk if you're working for somebody? What's the risk? If you don't like the job, what do? You quit. You give them your notice, then you go find something else. There's not a lot of risk, right? What's the return of working for somebody else? Here I put low to medium. It can maybe even be high. But the fact is, you will never really truly know what you are worth to the world when you work for somebody else and not yourself. Make sense? So that's the first level. That's the employee. Now let's talk about professional. Let's talk about being a doctor. Doctor, an attorney, a pharmacist, someone who's going to go to graduate school for some additional training. What's the investment? It's high. It's called education. It's called tuition. What's the risk? There's not a lot of risk. And if you go to medical school, you graduate, you become a doctor, you're a professional, a physician. What's the return? The return there is going to be medium to high. And the reason is because you made a high investment on the front end. And it should be a return, ROI, return on your investment. Let's talk about the next one, owning a franchise. Okay? What's the investment to purchase a franchise? It's high. Let's say, let's pick anything, a Starbucks coffee. It's a lot of money for a Starbucks. Here's the thing. Most people, when they invest in a franchise, they think they're buying a brand. What do you think you're really buying with a franchise? A system. What you're buying with a franchise is not so much the brand. You're buying a proven, transferable system. And when you pay that money, we now teach you the franchise ways where if you do everything the way we tell you to do it, set up your store, all this, guess what? It's successful. Why? Because we've done it many, many, many times over. And that gives someone the confidence to invest in a franchise, correct? So that's the investment. What's the risk? The risk is kind of low to medium. And the reason is because you bought the franchise and they're giving you a proven, transferable system. And what's the returns? The returns are going to be medium to high. All right? The next option you have is just opening up a business, small business, that's not a franchise. Rather than spending that $500,000 or $1 million in Starbucks, you decide, I'm going to open up Ed's coffee shop. I've never run a coffee shop before, but how hard can it be? I make coffee, pour coffee, collect money, whatever. Smile, have a nice day, that kind of stuff. What's the investment? It's still high. What's the risk? Very high, because there's no proven transferable system. I'm kind of winging it. I'm experimenting. I'm hoping it works. I have not run a coffee shop before. And then what's the return? Well, if it goes low, it's high. And then if I really get creative, if I really get entrepreneurial, I might even want to franchise it and teach someone else the system. Charge them for it because it's proven, and then I duplicate my stores. All right, make sense? Now, the last one we're going to touch on is our opportunity, being an advisor, an agent. What's the investment? Low, right? Not much. Not only is it not much, and oftentimes you might even get some subsidy, some help from the company that's hiring you to get started. Think about that, some type of financial subsidy. That's pretty impressive. You're starting a business and someone's actually going to pay you to get that business up and running. What a great deal. What's the risk? Some of you might think it's high because of the high turnover. I'm going to argue, you know what our opportunity is? It's a franchise opportunity. Because what's the definition of franchise? A proven, transferable system. These systems work. People don't work. The systems work. Make sense? If you work the system, you will have success. So the risk is really low to medium. And what's the return? The return is very high. So when you compare our opportunity to all the other options out there, for the right person, this is a beautiful column. Excuse me, I'm back here. I want to spend a second. What we try to teach our new advisors is this concept. And this concept is, you have a choice every single day. And that is, are you going to be a thermostat or are you going to be the thermometer? There's a big difference between the two. What is a thermometer's job? What's a thermometer do? It does what? It measures, it tells, it reflects the temperature. What's a thermostat? Controls, sets, regulates. See the difference? And I share that because what happens is, oftentimes this career early on, it's overwhelming. People get frustrated and they get discouraged, and all of a sudden they become what I call a thermometer. They're just reflecting the mood, etc. They need to be the thermostat. They need to recognize that at every point in time, they control the two things on this earth that we have absolutely complete control over. And I think there's only two things in the world that we absolutely have complete control over. And those are A and E. And it's a little play on words in the United States. I tell people, if you want to make it in this business, if you want to make it in life, if you want to be successful, all you have to do is watch A and E. In the United States, there's a cable television station called the Arts and Entertainment. And I say it's not really watching the TV station. It's watching A stands for your attitude, and E stands for your effort. If you think about it, those are the only two things in the world that every moment you have absolute control over. You always control your attitude. Now let's face it, there's a lot of external factors that allow us to have our attitude, to get soured or bad. It's life, it happens. Sometimes some bad days, but it's our choice to react to those external factors, and we always control our effort in everything that we do. And when we prioritize things that are important to us, we should turn the dial of the effort way up, right? And things that aren't important to us, we can turn that effort dial down. Make sense? A and B. I talked about Peter Drucker earlier this morning, about having a great attitude. Remember that? 86 years old, lived 9 more years, wrote 8 more books. Beautiful attitude. My next book's the one I'm most proud of. So he's my hero when it comes to attitude. When it comes to effort, I'm going to show you a video here in a second. And I want to set the stage. I show this video in our training classes. I show this video to recruits. And I use it to tell them what you need to have is you need to have great effort. And what you're going to see is you're going to see a professional baseball player in the United States. His name is Brendan Ryan. He's at bat, he hits the baseball. Baseball goes to the shortstop. It's in the hole, and the shortstop fields the ball, makes a nice play. Fields the ball, throws it over to first base. The base runner beats it out. He's safe at first. It's called an infield base hit. If I were to tell you, without that ball leaving the first baseman's hand, first baseman catches it, but the runner already ran by, plays over, he's on first base. Without the baseball leaving the first baseman's hand, that base runner goes to second and goes to third. Safely. Would you believe that? How does that happen? If you know baseball, that doesn't happen. Watch what happens. By the way, this is someone who makes, these are professionals. These are professionals. Let's watch this. Very nice play. He's over. He's taking the first. Maybe not.
Take a look at the play.
Pretty good play. Really nice play.
Jackson has to come off the bag, and you can see the shortstop way over
Yeah.
the hole.
I got to throw it. No one's there. Look at this guy. He's not even looking. Heads down, running around. Unbelievable.
That's great.
Unbelievable.
Here's the
This is my favorite one.
Drop ball toward the hole and short, backhanded off the glove, recovered by Sogard, off balance, throw to first, and it pulls Jackson off the bag. Ryan heading for second. No one there, no throw. Heads up play. Heads up play. Now he's going to third, and nobody's there. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Brendan Ryan has just picked the pockets of the Oakland A's twice. You talk about heads up baseball, that's incredible.
I love showing that because that is the slow erosion of the fundamentals on defense. No one was in position, no one was paying attention, because you know why? Because the play was over, right? It's the routine. See, the routine of life washes over us. That's just kind of how it goes. You beat out the play. I don't have to be in position when you do. Because you know what? There's opportunists in the world. And he was an opportunist, and he took second, and he took third. And that's what we look for in candidates. That's what we expect in you, brand new advisor, to be an opportunist, to have the hustle, to have the effort. And when you see the slow erosion of fundamentals around you, when you see people who aren't doing the basics, that's just to your advantage. You keep doing it. Make sense? Big lesson there. So, Peter Drucker, I shared the book this morning, Effective Executive. Again, this could be the effective agent, the effective advisor, the effective parent, coach, teacher, whatever you want to put in there. But I touched on this morning, effective advisors know where their time goes. I want to hit on a few others now. Effective advisors focus on outward contributions. They are focused on results. They are results oriented. There's the billable hours. We talked about time this morning. Focusing on your time, the importance of that. Here's the results. Focusing on results. It's about forming the right habits. Chris Newman spoke this morning about Dr. Albert Gray. Dr. Albert Gray wrote the common denominator of success. The common denominator of success is that successful people form the habits. Form the habits of doing things failures don't like to do. Nowhere does it say that successful person enjoys doing those things, but they form the habit of doing those things. Actually, they don't like those things any less than the failure. They despise them more than the failure. But here's the difference. A successful person understands the difference between pleasurable methods and pleasurable results. So here's the example that I use, because I hire a lot of people off the college campus. They're just graduating from college. They were just students. Is a pleasurable result graduating from university with honors? Absolutely. Is there a pleasurable, easy method of graduating with honors? No. You got to study. You got to form the habit. How about obtaining financial independence? The client. Is that a pleasurable result? Having a client who's going to be financially independent, has enough money to retire on, is protected if the uncertainties of life occur. Is that something everybody wants, financial security? Yes. Is there a real easy, pleasurable method of getting there? Not really. Because you know what? You got to be disciplined. You got to save money. You got to spend less than you earn. You have to buy insurance products. No, they're not easy methods, but they're important to focus on the results. How about, is a pleasurable result being an MDRT producer? Is a pleasurable result being core of the table, top of the table? Is a pleasurable result being a field leader, running a firm? Absolutely. Is there an easy method of getting there? Like, no, sacrifice, hard work. So the question becomes, what do you want? The result, or do you want to have the easy method? You have to pick. You can't have both. And that's where most people in this world get confused. They want the easy method, and they want the great result. Can't happen that. Just can't happen that. So you gotta get that. This acronym, REPS. REPS stands for Recruiting Emulates the Process of Selling. REPS. Recruiting emulates the process of selling. I chose this acronym because it reminds me of what we need to do in building our organizations. And what we have to do is we have to do repetitions, reps. Practice makes perfect. You gotta keep practicing over, and that's what repetitions are. Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. So, if you look at a successful agent, you will find some common denominators. Number one, you will find the most successful advisors, agents in the field have high activity, correct? If you want to be a successful field leader, guess what you have to have? High activity on the recruiting side. Okay? Next, it's target marketing. Successful agents typically target marketing. And the definition I like to use of target marketing is being somebody or something to someone. Being somebody or something to someone. And I also like to use this term. Do a lot, learn a lot about a little, and do a lot of it. Learn a lot about a little and do a lot of it. An example is a cardiologist, a specialist, a heart doctor. Do they know a lot about a little? They sure do. They know everything about the human heart, and they do a lot of it. And because of that, they earn a lot of money. We don't stray from our recruiting efforts. We know a lot about a little. Recent college graduates coming right off the campus, typically the age of 21 and 23, 24 years old. And we like to hire student athletes, people who played athletics in college, because they have the self-discipline, they're coachable, they're competitive, they're driven, and they know how to multitask. They know how to prioritize their time, because they go into school and still competing at a high level in college in the United States. Make sense? I'm going to focus on the two of these, right? All right, so be something to someone. We are something to that recent college grad. They know if they want to be successful in this career, they're stacking the odds in their favor of joining North Star because we have a track record. And here's the other thing. People don't join companies. People join people and causes. See, we talk about our companies too much. Talk about your people. People join people and causes. Introduce them to people just like them, who think like them, because they're going to sit there and think to themselves, if that person can do it and they're just like me, guess what? I can too. People join people and causes. Your cause is your values, your purpose, your mission. Those are the things that you have to be articulating and communicating to that candidate, to that recruiter. Learn a lot about a little and do a lot of it. Talk about that. So what are they looking? This is I'm giving you examples of the millennials, of the recent college grads. You can, and I'm not saying that is the only people you should recruit. I'm saying specialize in something. It could be experienced people from another organization. It could be career changers, career finders, doesn't matter. Become something to somebody. But in our case, millennials, they're looking for the 3 I's. They're looking for work-life balance. Culture is important. So we talk about our culture a lot. You also have to understand they love instant gratification. Instant gratification. And the irony is our career is one of what? Delayed gratification. So what you need to do is you need to create instant gratification opportunities. So you saw John Barr this morning, this Tier 25 system. Did I win today or did I lose today? Did I get my points, my 25 points today? If I did instant gratification, yes. A little email from you, a phone call, words of encouragement. You cannot say those things enough to millennials. You got to keep them excited, keep them motivated. It goes a long ways because there's many days people get discouraged early on. So this is what I use to give them an idea of just how beautiful this career can be from an income point. This is last year. This is the 25 U.S. colleges. I just did the top 7, whose graduates earn the most money 10 years out of school in the United States. This is the average. They surveyed the students who are graduating from those schools. These are Ivy League type schools. You have University of Pennsylvania, Harvard, Stanford, Georgetown, Babson, Harvard, MIT. 10 years later, this is the median sale. Those are pretty good incomes. They're getting close to 100,000. These are young people. They're just starting in their 30s. This is how much they still owe in student loans at that time. Okay? So this is you go to a top school 10 years later. This is the average income those folks are earning. And those are the majors that they're graduating. The breakdown. Then I show them what I showed you this morning. How does that compare? Pretty good. Let's go 10 years out. Double. But it's not easy. So this career, I use this phrase all the time. It's simple to understand, but hard to do. People confuse simple with easy, right? Simple to understand, but simple is not easy. Career simple. Talked about this morning. Finding, educating, motivating, inspiring. Finding comes up in prospecting. Talking to a lot of people. Asking them to start their path to financial security. But with that comes what? Rejection. That's how people are experiencing it. Here are some of the things with culture. Today's millennials, they're very civic-minded. They're very altruistic. They want to give back. They want to help. They want to serve, which is beautiful for us because our career is one of serving others. So it bodes well. Now, in our organization, we give 10% of the firm's profits every single year to the firm's foundation, the North Star Resource Group Charitable Foundation. And then we use those monies to donate to important causes. And our advisors love that. And those new folks really enjoy it. But here's just some of the things that they're saying. North Star embodies the service above self mentality. It's apparent in everything we do and the inspiration behind why we do things. The impact we make in our client side, the ability to change lives, our opportunity to teach others the same is what led me down this career path. I'm honored and grateful. That's some of the stuff. At North Star, we have been given so much, so it's our job to give back through stewardship in our job and by serving to give back to others in the community. These are the messages that resonate with millennials. So in your recruiting collateral, in your marketing materials, your website, the language you use, all the things that you're doing and communicating, make sure they align with those messages. And I think those are universal. Whether you're a millennial or not, I think they have some applications. Don't you agree? So I'm going to show you right now a video that this is.
Being dedicated, having a team, and being optimistic have all helped me in the career as a financial advisor for a number of reasons. You know, one, dedication. It's very much a career where you're not going to be working 20 hours a week. You're putting in all the time, and that directly affects you. You have to be dedicated, and you're going to be the first one in the office and the last one to leave, and that's ultimately going to make you the most successful financial advisor that you can be. Also, being optimistic. Sometimes in this career, there's going to be things that just don't work out. You can't let those things get you down. You're not going to quit. You're going to overcome them and maybe find solutions to say, okay, that was a problem. Now I'm going to learn from that mistake, move forward, and really use it as a benefit and not look at it so much as a negative. Also, teamwork. Having somebody as a support system, and not just your mentor. At North Star, we have, I think it's called North Star Resource Group for a reason. We do have a lot of resources on hand. So the support system and getting you on track to doing everything on your own, it was really an easy transition.
Coming out of rowing, I obviously had several coaches, and they were a huge part of my college career. Whether it was personal, school-related, actually the sport, they were there to support me in everything that I did. And that's really how I see our mentorship program. I came in day one, I had no background at all in financial advising. And that's a little bit scary, absolutely. I didn't even study finance in college. But being able to come in and know that someone is there to support me no matter what I do. They're there to answer all of those questions, help me with the actual financial advising, the actual planning, but also help me, okay, how do I sign up for email? How do I log on to that website? Whatever the case may be, they're there to help. And I think that was very important to also see that they've gone through this. It's not just me that has to go through this tough time. I'm having a rough week. They've been there, they've done that, they're willing to talk to you about it and say, okay, maybe we change this, or maybe focus on this for next week and kind of make it a little bit better of a week. And I think that being able to see that someone else has gone through it makes it a little bit easier. And also see where they are now. 5 years down the road, this is the awesome practice that they've built. I can't wait to be there. I think that was my driving force, and I think that continues to be my driving force.
So you think they can see themselves in those videos? Of course they can. The other thing is top advisors, they build their clients through recommendations, referrals, introductions. That's the best way to build your practice. It's the best way to build your clientele. It's the best way to build your organization. So we have a system. We ask all the time our advisors, our staff, our team members to refer people to us. So we have so many, father, son, mother, daughter, father, daughter teams in the organization. So many. Our front desk, our receptionist is the mother of our marketing director. The list goes on. People refer folks in. Why? Here's the thing. Why? We ask. We ask them. Who do you know? We're hiring. Do you know anybody? Who do you know that might want to enjoy this great culture, this great organization? You ask who shall receive. You just don't ask enough. And we do have financial incentives. We have a referral program here. And the way it's staged. And is it the right way? I don't know. But it's a way. And that's the problem. The problem is we don't implement systems. Have a system. Pick something and stick with it. So our system is we give up the $3,000 if you refer somebody else, and then they get through their training program. But it's staged out. Every stage, it's not all at once. So there's an incentive there, so that person keeps going along. So that's our referral program. Andrew Carnegie, the great business person, the Steve Jobs, the Jeff Bezos of years past said, no person will make a great business who wants to do it all by himself or herself. See, we live in a world of collaboration today. And the thing is, all of our organizations have resources to allow people to collaborate. We don't have to do it on our own anymore. You can go down the hall, you have a leader, you have a mentor, you have specialists, you have home office support, you have backroom technicians. Are you positioning them properly, and are you using them? That's the question. So I like to call, this is what I call the typical organizational chart. If you were to entrust your financial future to an advisor, do you think it's a fair question to ask that agent, that advisor, what their org chart looks like? I think it's very fair. So show me what your practice looks like. Well, there's me. I have a mentor, a leader that I work with, and I have some administrative support. To me, that's a pretty common org chart. Most people would draw if you just ask them. This is the org chart that I think everyone can have. This is the org chart that all the people in our firm have day one. What you have, there's me as the advisor. But then, this is my practice. These are all the people that I have at my disposal because of the relationship I have with my firm. Make sense? Now, is that person paying for those folks? No. The firm is. But can they position it in the public like that? Absolutely. So who would you rather have as your financial advisor? That person or that person? Because there's going to be at some point in time that you're going to have a question or something that that person here may not know. But I don't have to know everything. I just have to know the right resource to get to make sure we as a team are making sure that you start and stay the course of financial security. It's all about position. So Laura Vaughn, who you saw, who the other young lady you saw in the video, this is her mentor. Laura Vaughn, doing very, very well. She's been with us about 7 years now. Doing a great job. Top of the table producer, doing great. She runs our Houston, Texas office, awards, accolades, all over the board. This is her actual. She works with specialty physicians. Her typical client is a physician that's earning over $500,000 a year. And here she is, a young lady, not even 30, she's in her 20s. She's working with physicians, some of the top people in the medical world. And this is what she shows them. There's her team. Look at all those names, all those resources. Could you do that in your organization? Sure you could. You could leverage other people, asking them if they'd serve in that role or be on your marketing piece or on your website. Absolutely. And this is what we use at North Star, breaking down, just showing all the different divisions where our